implanted in the uterus. By 4.5 weeks, those cells are forming the structure of the heart. In another few weeks, beating inside this embryo will be a fully functioning heart. It is disproportionately large right now, but the rest of the tissues and organs will soon catch up. Not long after the heart begins to develop, the liver starts growing. Soon it is more than 10% of the embryo's size. From eyes to limbs, ears to lungs, all of the embryo's organs take shape, cell by delicate cell. Each system takes its cue from nature's strict and graceful choreography. Each organ makes its entrance at just the right moment to assure the baby's health. Just like the constant beat of this little heart, the pace is quick and unstoppable. Even from day to day, these amazing changes are unmistakable. The yolk sac, no longer needed for nourishment, finds a new role as the embryo's blood cell factory. It is firmly tethered to the amniotic sac. Weighing less than half an ounce, the growing embryo is already independent, with a circulatory system that's separate from the mother's. The placenta keeps the two bloodstreams apart. The placenta also feeds the embryo with nutrients it extracts from the mother's blood and rids the embryo's environment of waste. The umbilical cord links the embryo to the placenta, the lifeline between mother and child. At less than half an inch long and 6 weeks old, tiny limb buds begin to emerge.
They start as a protrusion, 2 on the upper portion of the embryo and 2 in the lower portion of the embryo. The cells on top will tell the cells on the bottom to divide, grow, and they start pushing the limb buds outwards. This keeps happening for another 4 or 5 days, and at that point you'll have little paddles on the end of those buds that will look like little hands and little feet.
The transparent skin reveals everything inside this tiny body. Dark pits appear where eyes will soon develop. Not more than 7 weeks old, the embryo looks more human with each passing day. And with each day, the mother's body makes remarkable adaptations of its own.
I just can't wait till my stomach starts getting bigger. Like right now, you can't even tell that I'm pregnant, and like I can't wait till I start feeling the baby move and kick and all that good stuff.
Hi, congratulations, Brenda. I'm Dr. Abraham here.
Brenda and her husband are expecting their first baby.
Your first OB visit.
She feels ready for the changes, even the unexpected ones.
Okay, Brenda, let's go over some more details here. I'm going to let you know some of the things that you're going to expect and give you a chance to ask, both of you, give you a chance to ask me some questions, okay?
I didn't expect to get anything because my mom really didn't have any morning sickness, and neither did my sister. So I thought I'd be the lucky one also and not get it.
Increase of progesterone and estrogen hormones cause morning sickness. Usually about 70-80% of women during early pregnancy, even starting as early as 4 to 8 weeks, begin noticing nausea. That's actually a very good sign to me. That shows that usually the progesterone hormones are increasing normally, and her pregnancy is most likely very protected. Let me tell you
The obstetrician, a prospective mom's guide in pregnancy, does her best to alleviate fears and answer questions.
How are you doing right now with that?
It's okay some days. Some days are pretty bad and some days are fine.
Okay, all right. You want to make sure your stomach does not get empty. When you get an empty stomach, the acid will start building up, and that can cause a little more of the nausea and the heartburn. Start way up in the underarm, and
Brenda's breasts are becoming more tender as they grow fuller.
once a month, about a week after your period. Some of the changes in the breast that occurred during the beginning of pregnancy and that continued during the rest of the pregnancy are increased growth of the actual cells of the breast, and this is very early. the glandular as well as the ductal cells, they're growing in number and they actually expand, getting ready to fill with milk, which will happen right after delivery. Okay, all right.
At 8 weeks into her pregnancy, Brenda's body is transforming into the perfect life-giving vessel. Her uterus is undergoing the biggest changes and is enlarging and softening to accommodate its flourishing embryo.
I can actually deep inside feel the top of your uterus. The individual uterine muscle cells are increasing in size as well as increasing in number. They increase in size all the way through the beginning of pregnancy till delivery. But initially what happens is the size of the uterus grows from about this, starts from as the size of my fist and even smaller in some people, and it increases to the size of a large orange or grapefruit, cantaloupe, and then of course a small watermelon. What happens around between 9 and 12 weeks is that it actually goes from a pelvic organ to an abdominal organ.
Discomfort has always been the handmaiden of early pregnancy. Though it signals to Brenda that there's new life inside her, she has not seen any actual evidence of it until today. Through ultrasound, Brenda and her husband meet their child for the very first time.
It's a pretty good picture, guys. Oh, the baby looks wonderful. Look at that little heartbeat. Can you guys see it? Okay. Here we go. Move this. This is the baby right in here. The head is on this end. Bottom's down here. Right in the center is this little thing flickering away really fast. That's the heart. Can you see that?
See that? That's
Frank,
the
can you
heart.
see? Okay.
It's right in the middle.
Stick your head around.
Do you see it, like the movement? That's the heartbeat.
Okay, what it looks like with the measurement, the baby's about 3 centimeters, just like the length of a peanut. Okay, your little peanut here. Okay. We don't have fingers and things right now, but they're called arms.
For Brenda, the concept of motherhood is no longer abstract. At only 8 weeks, the embryo looks like a miniature baby, her baby.
At 8 weeks of development, the embryo will look much like a very, very tiny human, not more than 5 or so millimeters in size. It's very tiny. The head will have eyes. It will have little tiny, what appear to be ears. It will have arms. It will have legs. You see the body of the embryo, and the back of the embryo looks much like a small, tiny baby that could be, born at that stage. But it's of course, much too small and underdeveloped to survive outside of the womb.
The limb buds that appeared a few weeks ago are turning into actual limbs with tiny fingers and toes. Every day brings staggering, noticeable changes to the embryo. Though just over an inch long, most of the major organs are already formed. Staring blindly into their watery universe, the embryo's eyes continue to form as the face takes shape. The lens, optic nerve, and cornea are in place, and the iris forms over the lens. Small folds of skin, the eyelids, complete the intricate structure. Between 8 and 10 weeks after conception, the lids close. For the next 5 months, the eyes will mature enough to take in the world. The brain grows enormously. 100,000 new nerve cells are created every minute, forming this organ of unrivaled complexity. Now, this tiny embryo makes a monumental transition. It graduates from embryo, the developing phase, to fetus, the growing and maturing phase. It won't be long before it is able to move, to swim in its liquid cocoon. As the fetus grows more complex,